We've been living in and enjoying Florence for a month. There are tons and tons of great sights to see.
Yeah, so in part 4 of our series on Florence today, we want to go beyond the big 3. We want to show you those places and share with you some cost savings along the way. Hi, I'm Greg.
And I'm Paula.
We are 2 retired nerds that are traveling the world full time.
Join us as we fumble our way through this new life.
We'll share what we learn and have some fun along the way.
Since it was the birthplace of the Renaissance, there's a lot of great things to see in Florence.
Oh, that's true. So last video, we talked about the big 3, the Uffizi Gallery, the Accademia Gallery, and the Duomo complex. And if you haven't seen that video, we'll put a link to it on the screen.
We also covered a couple of great places in episode 2 of our Florence series, the one with Sierra. We saw Pitti Palace, we saw Santa Maria Novella, and the Medici Villa La Petriaia. Not sure I'm saying that right, but as well as the garden of the Medici Villa of Castello.
We'll put that up on the screen as well, so you can see either of those videos. So there's lots of great things to talk about and discuss, and we'll show them to you. But stick around to the end of the video because we want to share with you some money-saving tips. There's some passes and some times, like the Secret Sunday, we'll share with you at the end. So teaser alert, but check that out at the end, and hopefully we can save you some money there.
Let's start with the Bargello. It was originally a prison for political prisoners. As a museum, it's more known for its sculptures. It was €10 per person for a ticket. It also comes, you can get a combo ticket with the Or Saint Michel, and we'll talk about that right after we talk about the Bargello. For €13, you can see both.
But yeah, the Bargello is really cool. Lots of statues, opens into a nice courtyard. Lots of coat of arms to see there. But statues down there on a lower level, the upper level. It's a really cool place.
It really is. It was one of our favorite.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, this area has the 3 Davids, and that was one of my favorite parts of the museum. And what I mean is there's 3 statues of David here, 2 by Donatello and 1 by Verrocchio. They all have Goliath's head at the base, so they're based on early age David, but they're really neat and unique different takes on David and Goliath, basically. So Check it out.
And as you go on through the museum, you'll find a fresco of Dante's Inferno. On one wall, it's what hell would look like according to Dante's book. And then on the other side, he actually has a self-portrait and mixed in with the crowd on the side where it's supposed to look like heaven.
Yeah, I was say it's like heaven because everyone has halos behind their heads.
So Or Saint Michel was a cool little surprise. The building was built in 1337 as a big granary. It was like an open air granary. You can still see like the grain chute at the top of the ceiling. But by 1380, they already had repurposed it as a church. And you would think by now I wouldn't be surprised every time I walked into a building. The ceiling's beautiful. Everything in that was really pretty. It is €8 to go in by yourself, but like we mentioned before, you can get a combo ticket with the Bargello, which is €13 and saves you a little money, and I think it's definitely worth it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We loved it. So after you see the inside of the chapel, you go right across the street there, and that's where the museum is. You're going to go up a bunch of flights of stairs. Well, not a bunch, but you're going to go up several.
No, a bunch.
To get to the first floor.
It's
and
very
the
high.
first floor has the statues that are used on the outside of the building. So the ones that are currently on the outside of the building going around it are really replicas. The originals are in this upstairs museum. And that's really neat. But then you go up another set of stairs and you get to kind of an open-topped area that just has wonderful views over the city. I mean, there's nothing else in there. The ceiling's really nice, but it's just great views. So highly recommend doing this one. So the next one is the Basilica of Santa Croce. Now, Santa Croce stands for Holy Cross. Now, this one is a very famous church because it has all the tombs of many of the most well-known Italians. You've got Michelangelo, you've got Dante, you've got Machiavelli, and you've got Galileo buried there. So those are all around the interior of the main chapel. And the ceilings are, everything's gorgeous in this place. But it's beautiful all over, frescoes, paintings, sculptures. You name it, the place is huge.
The first time we went by was on a Sunday. It was a huge long line. They had a market out in that square. There's a big square out in the front. I don't know if they do that every Sunday, but the Sunday we went, it was at food trucks and vendors everywhere. So we waited a week or so, I think, before we went back on a weekday and maybe had a 5-minute line to get in. It's €10 to get in, but it's beautiful inside.
Definitely worth it. So we also went to the Palazzo Medici Riccardi, another one of the Medici palaces in the area. Of course, just like it is a little more expensive. It's €15 in the high season. It drops to 10 from November through February, so you can take advantage of that. But it has a beautiful ballroom with a long ceiling that's just gorgeous painted, and several other rooms that are really nice, and then this really small chapel that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the chapel had some paintings, lots of vibrant color on those paintings. The Journey of the Magi and Angels of Adoration are the names of the painting in there. What's interesting is that it includes portraits of the Medici family and other prominent Italian figures of the time. Their faces are in that parade of the Magi. So it, I don't know, that's a unique feature to it. But it's really cool. Pretty to see. I could sit there and stare at it for a while. I think it's a little bit high priced, but I've got a way around that at the end of the video. So
hang around.
Stay tuned.
So next was the Medici Chapel.
It is really close to the Palazzo Medici Riccardi.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it is €9 to get in. Now, this is a much smaller, there's not as many things to see here. There's the chapel itself is huge and just gorgeous. I mean, that is the star of the show. There's a little crypt downstairs. So not much to see, but it's impressive. It's just whether the €9 is worth it. But again, I think we have a way around that. But this one is one I think lots of people see, and I understand why.
So we also added in there the Leonardo da Vinci Museum. It's 10 euros to go in. Yeah, very interactive. We enjoyed that.
Trencher. My cannon with a lift adjustment. Tank. This is what it looks like on the inside. It is operated by 8 men. This looks particularly nasty. It's a revolving war machine. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be in front of 4 blades swinging.
Nope, 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 nope.
So today we decided to do something that I think people don't normally think of when they come to Florence. It's not one of the big museums, but there's a Leonardo da Vinci Museum. Lots of interesting stuff. A lot of stuff you can put your hands on. Some stuff that you can't put your hands on. So I think worth the visit. And like I said, a lot of people don't think about coming here. There have been a few people in and out. It's not too crowded. But right now, we've got this floor to ourselves. So.
This room, but this room, known as the music room, is normally very loud. When we first walked in, there was like 10 people playing every instrument in here, which is very cool, but it's nice to kind of come in and check it out when you have it to yourself too. So we're recording for some music that we can use on our videos when things are just a little off, like this.
So next on our list, Bobley Gardens. We could have seen Bobley Gardens with Pitti Palace. By itself, it's 10 euro, but you can get a combo ticket with Pitti Palace. We hiked around it and started at the top. We decided to get all our high walking ahead of time and just enjoy ourselves coming down. But you could start at the beginning and just do a little bit of up at a time and enjoy every aspect.
Guys, these Bobley Gardens are huge. They go all over. Lots of elevation, just plan wisely.
In more than an hour.
Yeah. Just plan on spending a lot of time. If you have it, just enjoy it.
Yeah, we spent 2 hours and we could have spent more. There are still things we didn't see. We saw it later in the day, so we felt like we were getting close to closing. We found out at the end we had an extra hour, so we could have slowed down some. But beautiful. We had a great weather that day, so we just hung out, took our times in the garden.
Saw lots of people that had brought food and just sat out on the park in the grass and just enjoyed their time together in the sun. So
very peaceful. If you need to get away from the really rush of all the tourists in the main part of Florence, this would be the place to go.
Definitely.
So next we saw the San Marco Convent or Monastery. It is 11 euros to go see. It's unique for all the frescoes that are through the courtyard and in the monk's room.
Yeah, you come up the stairs. Well, this place, it's known for Fra Angelica's paintings. or that's his name. That actually stands for
Angelic Friar.
Angelic Friar. And you might see Beato Angelica, which is Blessed Angelic One, and name was given to him by Pope John Paul II in 1982. So you kind of see both interchangeable, but at the top of the stairs going up where the monks' rooms are is the Annunciation by Fra Angelica. It's beautiful. It'll just stop you in your tracks there. And then I love how they have all the monks' rooms set up, and they're just empty rooms you can go in, but every one of them has a fresco on it.
Yeah, and the frescoes were designed for the monks that were residing there, for them to meditate on. Most of them are of the crucifixion, just a little bit different variations. There's a little different things changed here and there, but it was for them to meditate on the crucifixion when they were in their rooms.
Yeah, really cool place.
The courtyard is beautiful as well. We just slowly walked around that, up and close to the top, in all the little archways are really pretty frescoes there as well. So,
yeah, I forgot the ceilings are all wood. They're beautiful. Yeah. So it's
very
not a 5-star
see.
hotel. They're very small rooms, but it's still very
pretty.
Yeah. All right, it's time for Money Saving Talk by Greg and Paula.
We're sorry we made you wait to the end. We could not figure out the best way to put this in order because this video has some things we saw with the budget ideas and some things we didn't. But all the museums we talked about today are less expensive than the Uffizi and the Accademia. And all of them take less time than the Uffizi. So if you are needing to save money, save time, you can still see some really beautiful things by going to some of these museums instead of in
addition to, just depends on what you can, what you like and what your schedule permits.
Pitti Palace would be the only other one I would say that's going to take some time. So if you're in a hurry, that won't be a hard one to see. But free places to see. There's some free places to see. You can see many different churches in Florence. If there's one that's open when you walk by, I would go in it. I'd always take a couple of euros here and there to put in a little donation, even though it's free. But you're going to see something pretty no matter which church building you walk in.
Some you can take photos in, some you can't, but they all were beautiful one way or another and worth walking in if you can. So.
Oh, and always remember, if it's in summer and you're wearing less clothing, you need to be covered. Cover down to your knees, cover your shoulders. And just look at the pictures when you walk in. It'll tell you what they prefer there, whether pictures without a flash or no pictures at all or no video. Some people are fine with pictures but no video. So be aware because you don't want to get called out. And then, so Bendina Fiorentina was one of the churches in the middle of town. It's pretty on the inside. There's a really impactful statue on the outside of a man laying on the bench. But if you look at his feet, there's nail holes in his feet.
So what's this? The SS Annunziati or something?
Santissima, I believe. Santissima, I believe. Annunziata. It's really pretty to see. There's frescoes again in the courtyard entry. Inside is a painting of the Annunciation that was begun by Friar Bartolomeo?
Something like that.
It said that he was worried about being able to paint the Virgin Mary's face as beautiful as he thought it should be, and he was despairing over that, so he fell asleep, and when he woke up, the face was painted. So it's considered a miracle, and now they've built kind of an altar around it. It's quite a show kind of when you go in. Yeah,
and then the Oratory of San Martino.
Yeah, I felt like this was a fun little secret. We got this from YouTuber Romewise, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, in the San Martino Square, there's a little room with and it's a small square, but there's a little corner room. It's got limited opening times, but This is a place that for centuries this group of 12 men gathered to basically help the needy since 1442. The little room has frescoes all around the wall, and the frescoes are paintings of just everyday life in Florence's history. So it's kind of unique in the sense that you can go in there, you can leave a donation, but it's very quick to see. But it was interesting. We enjoyed it.
I don't think it's far from the Bargello.
Yeah, and you can't beat the price.
Yeah.
So
one way to save money, if you want, is the Florence ticket. It's €85. It has a huge list of museums that you can see with that. The catch is you had to see them in 72 hours. It's a 3-day ticket. You'd have to see a lot of museums to, I think, add up to €85. And my brain gets kind of full. And so we decided against that because we were going to be there for 3 months. And you can get an extension usually for €28.
You just got to check what it is.
So just check on it. But 3 days is a lot of museums to see really fast and furious. So, but our best tip is coming up.
I think it's Sunday Fun Day or whatever I called it earlier. But no, once a month, the first Sunday of every month, a lot of the museums are free.
And there was much rejoicing.
In fact, all the state ones are free. So this includes the big dogs like the Uffizi and the Accademia and Pitti Palace and Boboli Gardens and, all the ones you'd want to see. And a lot of the ones that we had on our list as well. In fact, the Medici Palace, the Medici Palazzo Riccardi. And so
it does not include most of the churches, and it doesn't include the Duomo complex. It also doesn't include the private museums, like the Leonardo da Vinci one we went to wasn't included, and the Galileo Museum there. So privately owned museums and churches not included, but there's still a huge list of places you could go.
But that's the challenge.
Yeah, we considered at first picking the Uffizi and the Accademia because, of course, those are the most expensive. So if you want to save the most money, pick the most expensive on free day. But then we got our little Angelique tip. What did she ask us?
We basically said, okay, that's fine, you can, but do you want to get in free or do you want to enjoy the museum?
Thanks for the heads up.
So we looked at that and thought about it and thought, we really don't want to be crammed in with a bunch of people on the free day. We want to enjoy the 2 most famous museums and take our time. So we chose a different strategy, and we got into several different others.
Yeah, but I will say the Retired Nomad Travelers, another YouTube group that we watched, a couple that we watched, they did go to those 2 on a free Sunday. I want to guess that they were there in September, but I'm not 100% sure. They said they didn't have too long a wait in the lines. I don't know how crowded it was once they got in.
Yeah, good point. It's very different than we were first in line on a time ticket for the Uffizi, and saw that. If you haven't seen that video, you can see the lines we had. None.
Yeah, not much line, and then we got up there before the crowds got there.
So tell them what we did on our free Sunday.
On our free Sunday, we chose the San Marco Monastery, Medici Chapel, and Boboli Gardens because we didn't see the Boboli Gardens with Pitti Palace.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be to see the Palazzo Medici Riccardi and the Medici Chapel on free Sunday. They're right close together. And while they may have some bigger crowds than usual, I don't think they're going to have the huge crowds that the Uffizi and the Accademia will.
Yeah, and we'd already seen the Palazzo Medici Riccardi.
We had, before the free Sunday came around.
But otherwise, we would have probably done that. And the Boboli Gardens were great. I mean, it's huge and it's popular, but it's so huge it spreads everyone out, so we didn't feel crowded for that one.
Not at all.
Whereas the lines into Pitti Palace were way out there. I mean, because it's one of the top few, right?
And we know that it's time dependent. Like, you may not happen to be there on the first Sunday of the month, but if you are, I would definitely make a list and take advantage of it.
Our strategies still remain, guys. Just what's most interesting to you? Hopefully you've seen some ideas on this video and other videos from us and others. Tick down your list, determine how much time you have, and then take advantage of some of these strategies to either see it cheaper, earlier. It depends on what your budget is, what your time is, and everything else. But this should help you kind of make a plan. Yeah, you will run out of time before you run out of places to see, but that's what's true. So wonderful about this city. And
then it's always free just to wander.
Yeah.
Our last day, I think we just took a walk, usually in front of the Santa Maria Novella. There's music and there's seats. So, which is sometimes hard to come by when you have a busker. But seats, and it's beautiful. It echoes in that courtyard, free. Again, you probably want to tip a little bit.
It's only a small number of euros for a good gelato too. So.
This is true. This is true. Very affordable gelato. So,
All right.
we hope this was helpful.
Yep. So all we got to say now, guys, is ciao.
Arrivederci, y'all.